Hello everyone, welcome back to Dark Knight Tales. Before we dive in, please show your support, give this video a like and be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss future videos. So let's get started.
The first story. Make sure to always lock your doors. 23-year-old guy here. I live in a pretty safe neighborhood and, usually, always lock my doors. Last night I apparently didn't. It was not too long after I had taken my dogs out for the last time and was turning off the TV and lights when one of my dogs started growling. Not too weird since he sometimes does that when people walk by the house. He only does it to certain people, not everyone. I then heard the front door open and someone walk in. My dog then started barking. My other dog, who loves all people, came running from the other room to greet our guest. At the same time I was reacting to what was happening and went, "Who are you?" Standing in the hall was a guy in his mid to late 20s. He was skinny and tall. Oh wait. I don't think I'm in the right place. He genuinely seemed confused. I replied with, "Hell no you aren't, please get out." He apologized and said he was coming to hang out with a friend and just have accidentally went to the wrong place. I asked him what house he was looking for and he said a number that was just a few couple number off from mine. He apologized again and left. He seemed nice and non-threatening but I was still kind of spooked. This morning I was ready to laugh the whole thing off. I was planning on telling my neighbor, a couple in their 30s, what happened. I don't know them all too well but we have talked before. Luckily I caught with one of them when I was taking my dogs out. I didn't want to come off like I was mad or scared over what happened so I casually said, "I'm sure he told you about it but your friend paid me a surprise visit last night." My neighbor gave me this confused look and said, "What are you talking about?" "Your friend, he walked into my house last night thinking it was your place." My neighbor was quiet for a second and then said, "I don't want to alarm you, but I have no idea what you're talking about. We didn't have a friend over last night." The second story. Creepy Lyft driver. I used to go to the gym a lot when I was 14 to 16 years old. I was the fat kid throughout elementary and middle school, so the summer going into freshman year, I decided to start going to the gym. This was 2015 to 2017 I believe. I'm 19 now. I did not look any older than I was during this time. I know when I was 14 I looked 14 and when I was 15 I looked 15. When I couldn't get a ride to the gym from my grandma, I would take a Lyft. Obviously this specific time she couldn't take me, so I told her I was going to get a Lyft. I ordered a ride, checked the plates before getting in. Normally drivers engage in small talk when I first get in, which is what happened. His questions and comments were normal, until they weren't. Halfway through the ride, 10 minutes, he started to ask me about who I live with, how old I am I in school or what I do for a living, questions that I was uncomfortable with. I knew to lie about who I live with but I told him my age, thinking that he would stop asking me these questions but he didn't. I grew increasingly uncomfortable and went silent for a few minutes. When approaching my gym, he started to ask what I work out / my routine and sprinkled in questions about my love life which I didn't answer. The last direction he has to take is a left to get into my gym. Otherwise the highway my gym was on quickly turns into a freeway if you just continue going straight. He went straight instead of taking a left, which I told him was wrong. He told me not to worry about it. His GPS was rerouting itself because he missed my turn and there was no other way to get to my gym, but he didn't seem to mind that. We came to a brief stop on the road, continuing going straight, and I chose to immediately get out when we stopped. He canceled the ride right after, so I don't think I could have reported it. Not sure. Pretty bland story, but I'm not so sure what would have happened if I didn't make that choice to get out. The third story. The laundromat man. Everyone knows what doing laundry is like. Monotonous work while your brain tries to waste away the minutes it takes for the machine to finish its cycle. Occasionally, having stiff conversations in passing with the strangers. This night was no different, at first. As I pulled my laundry out of the dryer and began to fold it on a little table, I heard a voice over the lull of my headphones. "Excuse me, are you using this?" The voice came from a man in his late 40s, early 50s. He wore glasses that reminded me of my grandfather. He was wearing a stained disposable face mask. It hung under his nose and just above his mouth. I could see the start of a dirty blonde mustache poking out. He was gesturing to an empty cart next to the table. I simply said, "No, I'm good, I have one already." And he took it and began loading his laundry and folding it on the table adjacent from mine. Now started the usual routine questions that all lonely older men seem to ask. "What's your name, nickname?" "Ah, that's beautiful. So how old are you?" 22. "Do you live around here?" "Not really, the town over." "Lie, did you go to college?" "What did you study?" "Yes, culinary arts management." "Oh, so you like to cook?" "Yes." I tried to keep the conversation short, but light-hearted. As it continued with some short remarks about the wonders of doing laundry, he asked the dreaded questions. "Where do you work? Do you live by yourself?" I hesitated on the questions momentarily, trying to keep my privacy intact without provocation. "Oh, you wouldn't know it, it's a small mom-and-pop restaurant." And no. Lie, he stopped folding his laundry as I just started to load mine into my hamper. He walked over to my table and leaned against the washer so that he was in my eyesight. His eyes squinted slightly as he pulled his mask under his chin, uncovering his face. He then awkwardly called out, "So do you want to go to the movies with me sometime, cutie?" My eyebrows knitted together softly as a wave of different emotions flooded my brain. Confusion, as to why he'd even ask. I didn't even know his name. Embarrassment, as he's easily my father's age, and I'm not into that. Shock, because this man doesn't even know what my face looks like. Anxiety, because I have to reject him. I was so thankful for my mask because I'm sure my expression was not one he would have liked to see. I softly shook my head and he copied my actions in tandem. I fumbled out a soft "No, I'm sorry. I have a boyfriend." I studied his face as I watched his brain process my response. He knitted his eyebrows together and curled his lip. I could see nicotine stains on his teeth. He replied in a eerily soft tone, "Like how you calm a fussy baby." "Oh, no? You don't want to go to the movies? You have a boyfriend? Okay." He nodded his head with his last word. His eyes widened slightly as they fixated on mine. His voice grew suddenly cold. "It's okay, you don't have to lie to me. It's okay, you don't have to lie to me," enunciating the don'ts with tinges of anger. Annoyance filled me at his accusation. "I'm not lying, we've been together for a year and a half, I love him." His eyes softened as if he just now realized the two other people in the laundromat. He slinked away, returning to his laundry, long abandoned. I looked at him as I pulled my hamper into my arms and uttered a small "Have a nice day." I haven't been back to that specific laundromat and I don't do laundry alone anymore. If this doesn't meet the rules, I'll take it down. The fourth story. Creepy phone call. I work as a mortgage banker, and I was calling one of my customers to obtain some documents. The call failed, but he called right back, so I picked it up, only to be greeted by a Japanese woman who sounded like she was talking to someone else. I assume this may be his girlfriend or something, so I asked for him, and when I did, the call just turned into the most blood-curdling, loud, and annoying static I've ever heard. It was his phone number, and when I called him back he said he doesn't live with anyone and isn't sure what it could have been. Not really a big deal, just hasn't been off my mind since, and I really want to know how it happened. Anyone have an explanation? Could my super big name mortgage company's security be compromised or something? Maybe his phone number doubles as a Japanese number somehow. Again, nothing crazy, and I went on about my day, but it's just been lingering in the back of my mind. If anyone has literally any theories or explanation, please let me know, as it has been on my mind all day, haha. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.